Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? So I'm sorry I'm late. But I believe that the what you call it, like the saving time thing is over. So I'm basically an hour late. I don't know. But thank you so much for coming, guys. Yeah, Yoko. Hello. There's a lot to be scared of when Hamas TikTok promoting Bin Laden's letter and Hitler's influences brainwashing people into more anti-Jew. We may have both a civil war and World War III. What a scary time! I agree. The influence, like the maneuver, like what you call it in English, influence operations. Influence operations. Yes, that is scary. Something that you need to look out for. By the way, my outfit today, a completely wrong thing. Maybe I should change the background. Would you like this one or this one? Maybe I'll go with this today, just because now I'm wearing black. But yeah, we gotta look out for things. When it comes to Japan, what's happening here among the conservative community is that now that there's this new conservative, like they say that they're the real conservative party, and they were basically the supporters of Shinzo Abe, our former prime minister that was assassinated. But they were very close to Abe, and then he died, and then they got like they no longer expect things from LDP, our governing party. So then they established this new party, and they're saying that, oh, we are the true conservative and blah blah blah. And then there's another somewhat conservative party already that already has a seat. And so like the conservative power is divided basically, and then they began this nasty fights, within the community of conservatives. And then there are lots of like past stories and what's going on today, and like everything is mixed up, and they are fighting so much. And then I believe that even though like naturally there's a natural cause, of all these battles inside, but at the same time I feel like the influence operations are happening, because it's so easy to trick people, especially online. So anyway, rest in peace, Ikeda. Yes, exactly what I'm about to talk about. Hello, Yoko and Hide. Hello, thank you for coming. By the way, last week when I was ending my stream, it didn't end very well. I made a stupid face, it froze, and then I was able to change the scene. But then it wouldn't, like, before ending my stream, my laptop just died, it crashed. So eating ice cream, yeah, after this stream I'd love to have some. Yoko is looking elegant as always. Thank you, you're always nice. Yes, black shirt with black background. Yes, yes, yes. The one was cool. The blue office. Oh yeah. Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are now both anti-Zionist. Why Zionist is? I always get confused because there's many expressions, like anti-Semit, something. I forget. Zionist or Zionism. I get confused with the terms because I'm not familiar with these type of terms. Okay, that's basically anti-Jew. Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting combination. And then so I bet that Ben Shapiro is very against them, very much against them. What's going on with them too? Like, see, like Of course, it's naturally happening, but at the same time, it's easy to divide the community. You know, this is a time like when conflicts happen in the world, that's exactly when you feel like fighting, but that's exactly when you need to stay together, stand together. You know, that's the hard part of politics, I feel. Like right now, I want to bash the new conservative party so much because like considering their history and what they used to claim, they're walking contradiction. So like I want to point that out, and I'm like, hey, like what are you saying now? You know, like I want to point out all the things, all the wrong things that they were saying before, but I can't, and I want, because I don't want to divide the conservative community. So just me being a good activist. Anyway, CCP's destabilizing of the West via TikTok is an overdrive. Overdrive? Overdrive. I feel like sneezing. Mm. し続ける、過度に働かせる is on overdrive. Sorry, my English is not very good. Okay, I don't really get it. Sorry. こんばんは、よこさいしさお元気ですか？元気です。ありがとうございます。I mean, we're a little sick though, I feel like my husband keeps sneezing or coughing. I got a little allergy. And then I have to bear with that. She's got the stand-up comic background. That's so true. I love stand-up comedies. It's such an American culture, you know. In Japan, everything is like it's so interesting because American culture is whatever, it's politics or comedy, it's all like individuals, you know, and then the crowd listens. Or the preach culture, maybe, you know, there's somebody that preaches and then the audience is there. But in Japan, we are like, yeah, let's hold hands together, let's do this together, or something like that. So like whatever you do, like even the what we call idols, you know, the singer groups, they're like so many members. I'm like, can't you just sing alone, you know, dance alone? They can't here. But anyway, should I talk about Ikeda a little bit? So this is the newspaper from today. Ikeda Daisaku Shikyo. So you see this old man. He was 95 years old, and he passed away. Like it was announced on the 18th. And for those who don't know him, I will share the news. BBC. Can you see? Okay. I'll briefly read this. BBC. Daisaku Ikeda, influential leader of Japan's Soka Gakkai Buddhist group, dies. And here's the guy. Right. Daisaku Ikeda, former leader of Japan's influential Buddhist group Soka Gakkai, he has died at the age of 95. Over decades, Ikeda expanded the organization's international following and forged links with the ruling Liberal Democratic Party, LDP. He died from natural causes at his home near Tokyo. A statement on Soka Gakkai's website said, the lay, let me make it bigger so you can see. The lay Buddhist organization claims 12 million members worldwide and is known for its association with with celebrities. Followers include Hollywood star Orlando Bloom, U.S. jazz musician Herbie Hancock, and retired Italian footballer Robert Baggio. I can't read. Ikeda played an important role in promoting peace, culture, and education in Japan and abroad. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said on X, formerly Twitter. Ikeda became president of Soka Gakkai in 1960. He went on to promote the organization globally by founding Soka Gakkai International in 1975. In the following years, he traveled extensively, meeting world leaders such as China's 10 Premier Zhou Enlai, I can't read, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. So, and then it goes on and on. So basically, he was such an influential guy and pro CCP. That's the problem. He was very influential, but the thing is that we didn't hear about him for a while. So there was a rumor that he's been already dead, but he wasn't. And there's this conspiracy theory though that he has been dead, but they covered it up for a while and now is a good time to release it or whatever. But it's illegal to hide someone's death here. Like just like when you are born, you have to tell the administration, I mean like the local administration, that the person has died. So yeah, it's so interesting that we all, like, many people fall for conspiracy theory. But anyway, so he was influential. So he was the founder of our one of our governing parties right now, Komeito, and he was also, and the Komeito was established by him, and also he was the third third leader of the Soka Gakkai, the religious group. And so, and then he made it big. So he was, and then he gained all this influence among the political field. And then, as the article said, he was meeting very high level world leaders and so on, including China and Russia. And our ruling party, one of our ruling parties, Komeito, is a problem. They always stop our good policies, which LDP comes up with, and it stopped not by opposition parties, but by the ruling part inside of the ruling parties, because there are two parties, and Komeito is the one that's stopping, and that is because that Ikeda's influence was there. And our current leader of the party, Yamaguchi, is very pro-China too. And so that is our big problem here in Japan. And but then, Ikeda died, so probably inside the party, their policies, not policies, but their thoughts may gradually change. I'm saying this in a hopeful way. But yeah, I hear though that inside of the party Komeito, the younger generations tend to be more like conservative leaning, in a way when it comes to human rights issues. Or I mean, it doesn't matter if you're conservative or leftists, I guess, when it comes to human rights oppression. But we live in Asia, East Asia. So what that means is that we live right next to China, and in China, they are colonizing the neighboring countries like Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia, Hong Kong, and now they're coming on to Taiwan. So that's our common understanding. So younger generations are not as brainwashed as the generations above. So when they see the news, they can just look at things, look at what's really happening. So yeah, they tend to have common sense, and then there are some power struggle inside. Semitic. Yes, that's the word. Hello, Yoko and Hide. Hello. The only stand-up comic in Japan I knew is Beat Takashi, who isn't even a comic anymore. Yeah, he's a yes, as he directs. There's a new movie by him, I think. that's in theater, that or will be in theater. He's not his sense though is not very Japanesey, and I guess that's why for foreign people like him. But he's a little weird. Um, I stand with Israel not because I'm religious. A I'm atheist, but because for decades Jews has been mistreated by many Arabian terrorists that only want to destroy Israel. I suppose it's pity. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, all this. The problem is that I don't think that all this Middle Eastern like terrorists and so on. Like, I don't I don't know about them, but my impression is that they haven't seen the world. The ones, like, I'm not saying that they will change their mind, but I feel like they need to experience something, that we are experiencing. Like, we are all humans, and like I feel like it's the lack of education or information. Mm, because we, like other countries, like in the West or here in East Asia, we've developed ourselves because we interact very well with other countries, right? So then we get to see different things or new things, and then we're like, wow, that's cool. Right? And then we change ourselves to a certain degree and things like that. But they stick to, of course, like, sticking to traditions and the root of where you come from is something that I respect. But I'm like, you can live better. It's so weird. But it's all about differences, though. If I was born there, I wonder if I would feel differently. And that's the attitude that I want to keep, because I never know what it's like to live in places like that. But for me, I am friends with Jewish people too. So I really hope that it's like what's this expression, like necessity, like, oh no, it's wait, the two evil thing. The lesser of two evils. Yeah, like you have to pick, right? But then there's a controversy. Like I believe that we should just, war is thought to be bad, but in my opinion, like you know that you're gonna get conflicts, so just do it and end it quickly, and keep the casualties at minimum. And that's, I think, is like when you think about it logically, that's like if you do the calculation, that's the best of the worst scenarios. But at the same time, there's something about people that, like, it's our thoughts or feelings are attached to the land or the areas that you are born and grow up in, and maybe it never ends, and that's just how it is. And then if that's the case, then we have to focus on maintaining the balance and keeping staying out of conflicts. But the problem for Japan is that, of course, like our economy is bad, so we need to think about how to get energy and so on. Yeah. Anyway, Zionist means agrees with Jews owning in their homeland Israel. Ah, I see. So, I see. Siding with Israel. Ben Shapiro is not happy about it. Man. It's I like debates, but at the same time, you have to pick and choose who you debate with, because if you have I mean, that's the great thing about America, though, that you keep debating and then you polish each other's views by doing that. When you have a debate opponent, you have to polish what you're saying, your information, your perspective, and so on. You have to polish, 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 right? And then it gets better and better and better. So that's something that you should do, but then that both ends have conclusions already. So like what's the point in debating? That's what I feel often. So for example, here, of course, like I have there are many political enemies for me, like leftists, not only leftists but on the right side too. Like there are enemies for me. But then I don't try to convince them, because I know that they will not be convinced whatever I say. Like it doesn't matter what I say, so I don't even try. But anyway, hello Yoko-san. Hello. Um. Oh yeah, you can buy my art, by the way. The links are in the description box below. I have an Etsy store, and also I put some links below, so check them out if you haven't. Okay, scrolling down and down and down. China must be stopped at all costs. Yes. What happened to when COVID came around? All the countries in the West were saying like, hold China accountable, but we stopped doing that. Why? Where did the campaign go? And all the human rights oppression too. Oh, did you see the APEC protest? There was APEC, I believe, was in San Francisco. So Xi Jinping went to the US, and so I believe that was right outside of the hotel that he was staying in, and all these Tibetans, especially Tibetan, was the most enthusiastic to my eyes. That this lady went up on the pole, like there's I guess for flags and so on, but there was this tall pole outside a hotel. She climbed up and then spread the Tibetan flag, and I was like, that's so courageous. Tibetans always raise their voice against Xi, and it's different from people like myself or Americans or Europeans. For us it's easy. Easy. I For a second I became Japanese. uh, right, like we have freedom of speech and we don't get arrested for standing against CCP, but Tibetans, they are oppressed right now. They are under the colonization of CCP. So when they say free Tibet, they get arrested or they get tortured, right? But they stand up regardless and spread their flag. And then there were Hong Kongers and Uyghurs too there protesting together against Xi. So that was great to see. But the world has lots of conflicts, and now like we used to look at, we were especially under Trump administration, we were so focused on China, right? Like it was all about, like we were focusing on the world hegemony, right? US versus China. And then so we were talking about economy and national security, good times, right? Now we have to focus on Russia, invading Ukraine, and then the Hamas attacking Israel. So lots of them. But I guess that the Middle East will be settled soon, though. I have a feeling of that. I don't think that it will last for long because Israel is so strong. Um, but the Ukraine-Russia war will last for probably for another year at least, right? Like there are like judging from what each country is giving to Ukraine and so on, especially considering the battle aircraft that America is giving to Ukraine, right? Like you have to train the pilots, and that takes like what, like 3 months to 6 months or something like that, like a long time. So what that means is that, but you still give that to them, and what that means is that they are estimating that the war will carry on. So, by the way, Japan is getting, I mean, we are buying Tomahawk missiles from the US finally, and it's official now, I think. It was in the newspaper today. What was that? Yeah. It's US State Department said that they approved selling 400 Tomahawk missiles. Oh, and so they notified the Congress. So it's official now. So the older type, they will be selling 200 old types and then 200 new types. So, but 400 Tomahawk missiles, you feel like 400 when you hear the number. I don't know what kind of impression that you get, but I'm like, back in Trump administration, he fired like 59 Tomahawk missiles in one strike, like one attack. That's how many you use. A 400. That's like just a little. We need more. But then Japan is suffering from economy, like a recession too. So it's, I don't know how our country is surviving right now, but at least as this newspaper says, like let's see, like there's this column here talking about de-risking, and they're talking about security, nationals. No, it's like economic security. I don't know.
後でニッキー・ヘイリーが最近ずっと3番になって数字が増えたのはなんでだと思うかっていうと、ヘンスがやめた分かなって気もするの。
My husband just came to ask you a question, which is about Nikki Haley. So Nikki Haley is now in the third in the race, and he's wondering why. Why do you think she's in the third now? Is it due to Mike Pence dropping out? Or why is Nikki Haley in the third? よくあなたがアメリカ英語をとても上手に話せて本当に嬉しいです。日本語で何か言いたかったです。すごいな。Did you write that or did you? Oh, I hope this works. So probably you translated it. ありがとうございます。アメリカの英語がね、最高っす。Compared to the West, Japan seems to be doing quite well. I think that our culture helps. It sucks though, like, have you seen the movie Shin Godzilla? Like a new Godzilla. It was, when was that? That movie is something that you need to see. Shin Godzilla. 2016. So it's a Godzilla movie, but yeah, it's the version in 2016. It's really good because it reflects our society and politics. We're the total opposite of China, I think. That in China, for example, it's a dictatorship country, which Biden says so. Great job. But like, he doesn't do many great jobs, but it was a great job. After all this meetings and so on, like when Biden was asked if he thinks if he still thinks Xi Jinping is a dictator, he's like, yeah, right. That was great, right? America needs to stand strong. But in China, they're above the constitution. CCP executives, they are top of the country. They're like gods in China. So basically, they are dictatorship. What they have is dictatorship. And so what I see often in news is that, or documentaries, is that when China wants to work on like a public constructions and so on. Oh, super chat. I'll get to that. Wait in a minute. Um, there are local people that are already living there, but then because it's a dictatorship, they can just, send people there by an order to destroy the house, make people move so that they can build something new. And they can do that easily, right? But over here in Japan, we need the consent of everybody, right? The local people, and to begin with, you have to ask the politicians and ask the business people and then local people that are living there. And what happens is that, for example, in Narita airport, still there is parts of the land that the leftists haven't tolerated. So there are still like lands that are saying, they even have a sign like, we are against the building of Narita airport. So like that reflects freedom. In China, for example, you can't do that. You are just, you get destroyed. But it doesn't happen here because we have all this process. And then Japanese people are very wishy-washy, like we are very careful. That's a good thing. It can be a strength. But then in politics, you need speed, right? Like it shouldn't be too late, whenever you work on something. But we are very slow, and it was depicted in the movie Shin Godzilla. So you should watch it if you haven't. Super chat, thank you so much. Nikki Haley dropped in the polls after saying that she wanted to use government regulations to get rid of anonymity on the internet. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was very recent, right? Huh. Yeah. Like I would agree with that here in Japan because things are different, but for America, uh like Trump the reason why, I got kind of noticed among the conservatives in the US is because according to them, I was the fresh air because I can say whatever I want. That I support Trump. Like I can say that here openly, well, showing my face and name, right? But you can't do that in the US because you get attacked. And by attacked in the US, it includes the danger of your life, right? I know how dangerous and like what's the word? Like they are how dangerous, leftists can be. Like I remember BLM movement where they were vandalizing the cities, people's stores, and putting a fire on things that they can find, and then even beating up people. Like I saw that, the world saw that. They are so violent and dangerous. So if you don't agree with them, that's something that you need to be cautious of. Like you need to be ready for that, prepared for that, right? So under that circumstances, the problem that I see here is that like in this situation of Nikki Haley is that I think that it's easy for her because her family, I believe, is very rich and protected, but ordinary people don't have that luxury. But then rich people, even here too, like our bureaucracy often, thinks of good campaigns to promote Japan or something. And it sucks. Do you know why? Because they don't know how ordinary people are living. They're paid very well, right? When they socialize, it's like, even though like in Japan we don't have classes, like the West, like in the US or Britain, we don't have that here, but still like there are different class of people here. And so like the top level people, like national diet members, bureaucracy people, like they have no clue about how we live. So when they come up with policies or campaigns, it's about the mass, it's usually really, really bad. Like they don't get it, right? So I guess the Nikki Haley, like when you look at it logically, like it makes sense, but I guess that it doesn't work in the US. Hmm. Oh, super chat. Wait, where did I? Okay. Thank you so much for your super chat. Mostly peaceful arsons. Arson is fire. Wait, I forget. Wait, what does it mean? Arsons. Yeah. I was right. Okay. Yes. Mostly peaceful. What was that? Where did that come from? Why does it sound familiar? Mostly peaceful something. I forget. Thank you for the super chat. It really helps. I'm doing this for free. So, and this is my job basically, to speak. So it really helps. Thank you so much. Hmm. Oh, mostly peaceful riots? What's that phrase? During the riots. CNN. Okay. Yeah, fire starter. Yeah. Mostly peaceful protests. Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, they're vandalizing behind. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, don't you have eyes? Oh man. How is that not classes in Japan? That is exactly what classes means. But like, I'm talking about like historical influence, because you did have class. But over here, historically speaking, we've been equal. Like we had like different jobs were allotted, but it was not like it's so hard to verbalize that. Like Japanese culture is like everyone is the same, like we are one big family under our tenno, our emperor. And so it's what we feel is different. So communist says here in Japan, just like they copy what the communists overseas are saying, like, oh, 1% or whatever, right? Like the rich or whatever. But we don't have that sense here. And nowadays, now we use a term like, oh, rich people, we say, oh, rich people. Like it's in Japanese, like as it is, like, rich people, right? We say that in our language tone too, but it doesn't mean the same. And our celebs here are not the same the as in the US, for example. They're rich, but the level is so much different from America. And I don't know. It's hard. It is very difficult to explain that. I should come up with something to be able to explain. It's like categories. I mean, class is class. Category is the same thing. It's so difficult. Anyway. I met with Steve Turley and I told him about you. Oh, really? I would like to have you two talk sometime. I can email his team to arrange something for you two, an interview. Would you like that? If so, when? Uh, for the next few weeks, I think I'll be busy though. Like next week, I'm going to Tokyo, and then the next week following that, like I come back once and then I have to go back to Tokyo again because they will be CPAC Japan, and I'm coming for your CPAC, you know. So it's cool. I wonder, yeah, that's something that I wanted to see like who are the speakers this time. I need to check that out. Speakers. Okay, let me show you. Oh, so about the interview. I'm usually free, you know? So, but what would we talk about though? Like I have to learn about him first. Let's see. Speakers. Oh, Jack is coming? Cool. CPAC, you know, CPAC speakers this year. And then like all these people. Oh, Toshio Tamagami is my man. Oh, the good people. This is a leader of our party, one of our parties. Nice. Oh, Gordon Chan. Nice. Marshall up. And Nagao Sensei. And Chairman Aiba. He's such a good guy, man. He's such a, like, he works so hard to, like, in Japan, I think that he is the only guy actually that can actually pull this together. Many have thought about, you know, doing something like this, you know, like being the bridge between Japan and the US, you know, inviting people together and so on. But nobody can pull this off but him. Well, that's cool. Now I know the speakers. I hope that the people I know will come more. There will be more, I hope. But anyway, yeah, we need to arrange something. But I think the US, in the US you have the what you call Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Isn't it a busy time? Hmm. Peace couldn't be elected even for a dog catcher anymore. What? I mean, I read it as peace. No, it's Pence. Pence couldn't be elected even for a dog catcher. Oh no. Where was that, Nikki? thing. Oh, your comment, earlier comment is here. Good evening, Yoko. I hope you've been doing well. Thank you so much. I've been I've been good. I play a little too much COD mobile. I've been playing too much. But let's see. Let me see. Don't be shy about selling your heart. Yeah, I mean, I have only two pieces in my Etsy store, so I need to draw more. Choo, 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 choo. Let's see. You use Google Translate. You don't necessarily believe polls. Yeah, like the difficult thing about reading the U.S. politics is that you have to consider the regional differences, you know, like it's not always only about the number, but what matters for, especially for American politics, is which region, like which state, right? So that's something that I need to pay attention to. I know that they do it in like a separate I mean, like they do it in each state, but that's something that I need to see to get the big picture, I guess. So that's such a hard work. I wonder if there are like useful websites. But yeah. But I'm just curious, like my husband and I, we are curious of what Americans are thinking, you know, in general, because like we are dependent on America and we need to understand the emotions of Americans. Like emotions and politics, you may think like it's like totally different things, but it really matters. Probably over mic dropping out. That said, US polls are often cooked. Ooh, cooked means that the people doing the polls try to get the results they want by asking a certain places or wording the question in a certain way. Yeah, I know what you mean. Why it's called cook. I see. That's a good term to remember. Thanks for teaching me. Yeah. Our media does that too. It happened with LGBT legislation here. They were like, "Do you do you are you against LGBT discrimination or something like that?" Of course, people will say like they are against discrimination, and so like they didn't go into the details of the policies or I mean the laws. They they just ask general questions and which they know what the answer will be, and then they manipulate, in articles citing their polls. Mm. They want Nikki Haley posture towards the Zionist to seem to have political support. I want the Nikki Haley's posture towards the Zionist to seem to have political support. Okay. Nikki is not rising. The non-Trump ones are just rearranging but not gaining. I see. Non-Trump ones are just. That's what we thought. That like what my husband was saying that it just shifted from Pence maybe. Also, her support level is probably quite low. I feel like it's a limited number of people. Like she doesn't have like I mean Trump is abnormal, right? Like he's on a different level. So Nikki Haley of course doesn't have that. What do you think about Vivek Ramaswamy? Like I I liked him a lot. I do, and I believe that by his stance, like he never speaks ill of Trump. So probably like if Trump gets elected, then Ramaswamy will get a good position somewhere in the government, right? Or he could he be vice president? There's the like he's aiming for vice president, I feel, but then Nikki Haley probably is considering that too, and that's why those two fights a lot. I don't know. Thank you, Yoko-san. Great commentary for your great commentary. Thank you. I'm distracted a little bit because my husband is watching this in the living room and the volume is very big. Gosh, it's so big. I can hear myself. Man, my internet is slow. Maybe because he's watching? I don't know. Vivek is not a serious candidate. Okay. Pence and Tim Scott were not really serious. Although maybe Pence was deluding himself he could succeed. I feel like Pence had his pride, as like he's been serving for long, right? And he's very like traditional. He's such a traditional conservative American to my eyes, and I think that he wants to prove that like this is what it is like to be a true conservative in the US, or true patriot in the US. That's the impression that I get from him. because I don't think that he intends any. I don't think that he intends any malicious things. He just sticking to his beliefs, including political and religious. And even though I support Trump, he is not a political minded person. We need to remember that Trump is a business guy. I mean, businessman. And although politically Trump is great too, I feel like he has this like he has a little like his business mind is a little too strong, and sometimes even of course, like Trump should have won the last time, and I know that what he believes, like he believes in winning, right? And I don't know about the results, like I can't tell from another country, but at the same time, like the way that he went around the results, like when you look at it politically, I don't know if that was a smart move or not, you know because I'm such a political minded person, and in politics you need to have support, like generally. It's, of course, it's important to have a strong community, strong supporter community, but it can be it can exclude all the potential voters. So it's that, I mean, that's the bet that you have to have, but it's about what you want to get. But anyhow, Nikki made herself the most hated. Really? I didn't even know much about her, but now I oh my gosh. Nikki also said she would not run if Trump did. What changed? Oh, she was saying that? What changes? Royalty? I think. How is Japan's economy compared to the US? Thanks, Yoko-san. Thank you. I hear that the economy over there in the US is terrible as well, but I don't know if there's the premise is so different, like at least your salary is going up, but not here. So what we have is bad inflation. The prices are going up, but we are not getting higher. I mean, we're not getting paid higher. And then leftists have worked so hard to stop our nuclear power plants. Nuclear power plants are the best ones. It's usually safe and very efficient. Like the cost performance is great, but the leftists, of course, they are all about going against Japan. Like they hate Japan, just like BLM people here, I mean, over there. So they have attacked our energy so much that many are not working here. So what that does is they raise the electricity fees. So then all the manufacturing factories and so on, not only the families, but like factories and all the business buildings and so on, like it's so like it becomes a burden, right? Financially. So like we are in this vicious cycle, and it's just one pattern, but there are many vicious cycles that we are going through. So it's really bad. But our government at least is considering measurement. But wait, before that, let me take up this super chat. Thank you so much for super chat. Oh my gosh, second one. Off topic. If you ever in the mood to collaborate with other YouTubers, try collaborating with Project Egg Roll. They are on now. I super chatted your name there. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Project Egg Roll. Who are they? Cancel culture strikes again. Woke politics new victim. Oh, I see. A little culture and identity politics a little bit. I don't know. Interesting. I will subscribe and just check them out, I think. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to any collaborations, you know. I'm mostly social, but I was not, I have never lived overseas, so I don't know how much I can actually connect, you know. Because if we are on specific topics, like political matters and so on, then I can bring good points, I guess. But when it comes to uh, culture and so on, like my lack of understanding of America is might be a problem. I don't know. And then also, I don't. I'm so strict to myself, maybe, but I'm not a good communicator. I feel I'm a I'm very I'm social, but I'm an introvert, so that's a kind of a little fear that I have. That interacting with people is it's fun, but it really depends on like the chemistry. So that's a general reaction. Anyway, thank you though. I should be, I guess, I should be more open and try to find the like-minded. The thing about me that I struggle socially, to be honest, and that is because I've been always a lone wolf. I don't have friends that I can call friends, like at any stage of my life. Like I have friends, but very shallow, just friendly people, that I know many people I know, like, oh, they will be friendly to me and I can I'm an open person, so like I, tell everybody whatever I'm going through and so on, and we can kind of feel connected and so on. But I'm such a weirdo that like it, I don't think that anybody even to this point, I don't think that people understand me, including my family. And my husband gets me, but I guess that what he knows is my patterns and not really the world that I'm living in. And I guess that it's the same for everybody, but for me the sense is so strong because like I was so different, right? So then I've created this fear, like, oh, people will not get me and so on. Anyway. Even if Japanese citizens are equal under the law, there is a perception that the politicians are products of dynasties stretching back centuries, Abe being one of them. Mm, there are people that think that all these people with mental problems, you know, that if they have inferior complex, then they will complain to politicians and so on, like, oh, they are in power and blah blah blah, like they are rich, they're lucky, and they're different and so on. But this is different. Even our, like, historically, just look at the samurai eras. Sorry, my short. Like it's all about families here. The cultural sense is family here. And I guess that it's the Asian thing. Other Asian countries are probably like that. Not China though. That's dynasty, right? Dynasty after dynasty. But like culturally, Asians are, yeah, I don't know about other countries, but Asians, I mean, like other regions of the world, but Asians are like, we are all about families, and so it's different from the West. Like as a result, if you look at the surface, it may seem the same, but the sense and meanings are different. And that's what's often happens. And that's why when we lost the World War II, I think the US had a problem with dealing with us, because they even thought about executing our emperor, but our emperor is not the emperor as depicted in English term. Like it's Tenno, and you can't translate that. Right? What the presence means to us is different, just different. And so like the all this cultural difference is so hard to explain. You just have to get it. I've seen a lot of your idols on documentaries being homeless. What do you mean homeless? Like they're touring around or like living together or something, or are they poor? The Nikki Haley thing was talked in or at the time. At the Timcast, look it up, Yoko-san. Oh, okay. I should Timcast. Lots of things to check out. Take your heart with you to see if I can sell some more. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I should probably draw something and put it on my background of my videos. And people will be like, oh, that's cool. What is that? Oh, I drew it. Right. Let's see. Am I slow? Oh, this is like all this like 20 minutes ago. Sorry, I'm so slow. I believe Jack Posobiec was stationed in Japan when he was in the Navy. Really? I had no idea. I also thought maybe it can help bring you a bigger audience if Dr. Steve's audience were to learn of who you are. I just thought I would help out somehow. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's important to be known. Yeah. Sometime next month or two. Yeah, that I think that will be better. Yeah. He may have questions for you. People want to learn of relations between the US and Japan and cultures. That's cool. Yeah. I would definitely will like I like talking about both countries, like Japan and the US. How we are people think that we are on the other side of the world and our culture comes from the east and the west and we are so different, but the truth is that our living standards are similar or somewhat the same, and then we have these common values, which is rare on this earth. And yeah, I mean, it's of course like after, especially after we lost the World War II, and the US didn't colonize us, but they occupied us. And then during that period, I think that the system was established that Japan and the US, like, we are together, right? So we got used to each other more and more, I think. Collaborate with Project Egg Roll. Okay. Interesting that you guys like the same type of YouTubers. Like I see same names sometimes in the comments, so that's cool. I really wanted to like Nikki Haley, but just supports dumb things which grows wars and government. I think that, oh, I stopped. My camera stopped. I think that Nikki Haley is, to Japanese people's eyes, though, is not like, our conservatives here are basically like neocons, the way that we think, that we it's not like we want to intervene in other countries, but we are very, because we are an island nation, you know we the the thing about Japan is that we feel that we are isolated from the world. We are a small island. It's not actually small, but it looks on the map like we're a small islands nation, right? Just alone in the oceans. Right next to us is the huge China and so on, and then the next to us in the east side is the Pacific Ocean, which is broad, and we have our country consists of one tribe. Basically, there are Korean people and others, but the majority are Japanese, right? And then our religion is the same, basically. And historically, like, Japan has been Japan officially for nearly 3,000 years, so it's different. The world that we are living in is different, and it's like Japan and the world. We are part of the world, but I feel like, at least for me, like, it's and that's why there is the problem of Japanese people, actually, that we don't realize that we are in the picture of the world politics. When we look at politics, especially Japanese people, like, when I look at other Japanese people talking about politics, it's always like they're looking at politics from outside. Like, they're part, like, they have to participate, or they are participating, but they forget that they're the party, and they're always looking from somewhere else, and then judging. I'm like, you're part of the picture. So it's so weird, but that's how we are. Hmm. Trump is leaning on picking Tucker Carlson as VP. Could he be vice president? Tucker Carlson is far from being a political-minded person. Like, stating opinions and being a politician are totally different things. Like, politics is all about, like, poker, basically. You have, like, lots of mind control happens, and lots of like, you have to get your supporters, and then you have to think about how to like, make your enemies disappear and so on. Like, lots of manipulation happens, and it's different from being truthful to yourself, and standing on your ground. Like, politics is such a unique field that I don't know if Tucker Carlson can do it, because in politics you sometimes even have to lie, in a way, to, like, it's not a lie, but it's basically a lie, I think. Like, you have to be, at least you have to have the skills of lying, right? So that's the world that you have to live. So I don't know if Tucker Carlson could do that to begin with. I mean, he's a good guy and all, like, he's a great journalist, but I don't know. Vivek seems to automate. Automate. Answer C. Answer similar formula. Uh, like I'm laughing because I get that, because I guess that what happens to smart people, intellectual people, that they have the system in their brain. I'm not that smart, but I'm somewhat smart myself, and so like I always have the all this logic in myself that if I'm asked this, I'm like this, and you know, like I have all these things wired. But I guess that Vivek is just direct, and he usually what politicians do is like Nikki Haley and so on too. That but politicians adjust the wording and phrases to the listeners. That's the techniques that you develop while being in political field. But Vivek is just so like blunt. Like he goes straight to the list that he owns. America First 2.0 or whatever, and then 10 commandments, and it all falls into the lists. So I guess that the reason why Trump has been liked so much is that even though Trump is such a rich man and, like successful businessman, he, like, people can feel his heart, right? And I think that that's the strength that Trump has. Like, even behind the scenes, like, he does nice things to people, right? And just look at his face. Like, you can tell that he's a good person. Like, it's so interesting that if you look at the person's face, after a certain age, I think around 40 or so, like, your face is something that you developed. That's what we say here in Japan. um that you, yeah, like what's inside is comes up on your face, and Trump has a good face. Yeah, and he has a heart, good heart, and people can see that, I think, and that's where where people can relate, and that's important. Usually rich people are, somewhere above, and you don't even get to interact with them and so on. But like, he will care about you, he will listen to you, and he is willing to sacrifice himself, and that's what I think that people are seeing in him, and that's the attraction that he has to people, which people like newcomers like Vivek probably doesn't have it. And Pence is kind of strong when it comes to that, because he is religious. He's such a religious guy, and people can relate to him with that. But yeah, so Vivek is fresh air, but I guess, yeah, I get what you mean by that. Like this, I think you put it very well, automated and formulas. I get that. Wary of Vivek. I want to believe him, but I'm spectacle still. See, like, that's the hard thing, is something that he's missing. He's trying to impress people so much, right? Like, he has all this great career. Like, he graduated from Harvard and what's the Yale, right? And uh and then is he the CEO? Like, and so he runs business, and like he's done the best that he can do, and he's amazing, and his verbal ability, like how he can debate and so on, it's very appealing, and he is definitely a very intellectual, smart guy that can do problem solving. But it's all about proving himself, maybe, that we are witnessing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining. Like, I love that about him. It's amazing. Like, I'm overwhelmed by how smart he is and so on, and how he can work so well, right? Like, he's the same age as me. I'm here talking to my laptop, like I'm talking to you, but I'm basically like speaking by myself in a room. Meanwhile, somebody that's same Asian blooded person is in America running for the presidential election of the US. Like, oh, like that's amazing. But yeah, I maybe that's an Asian problem, The Asian, especially Asian Americans, suffer a lot, because they have to be good, right? In school and work. They are very hardworking. So I think that it's about, maybe he's not a leader type. I don't know. Like, I mean, people grow though. So I'm not gonna judge him like many do. I think that once, like, he's a learner, I think. So like if he has a good mentor, I think that he will grow in a good way. But uh, Vivek feels a little too polished, but he talks a big game. He's rich, but took money from Soros 4 years ago. He's questionable, in my opinion. Do you care about the kind of past though? Because I think that Vivek's kinds of people is, once they because like I'm far from him, right? Like, of course, like I'm not successful like him, but I feel like I'm the same kind of type of person as Vivek when it comes to how our minds are wired. And I feel like once he has decided on something, I think that he just goes through it, and like he will not stop until the finish line. Um, so like when he changed, um, I mean, he openly says that he was not voting for Republican Party until Trump came around, and but he's honest about it, and I don't think that he would do stupid things to make flaws in himself, right? Because strong debaters don't do stupid things. Like, I am one, right? Like, I I don't I I'm a political figure here in Japan. And so I'm very careful with my personal life. Like, it's limiting my freedom, and it sucks, right? It really sucks. Like, I could enjoy like the rest of the people, but I'm like, I always tell myself like, oh, people are seeing me, right? And they can they could, like, with all this data based era that we are living in, like, it's all technology and anything can be released, right, at any moment. So I have to be good, right? So and then I feel like if you are a logical person and who can calculate things in real life, I think that you wouldn't take the risk to do stupid things once you have decided where you are going. So I don't know. Hi, Hide. Hide is in another room. Better candidate for 2028. Honestly, under Ron McDaniel has a grudge against him and will ensure her treasury backs DeSantis and Haley as long as possible. Man, what's crazy about the US is that he's just like Trump though. Like, Vivek Ramaswamy is such an outsider, and he can jump in the race. That's so crazy to me that he doesn't even have a political background, but then willing to become the president, and people let him run. just somehow randomly thought about it. But mm, interesting. Yeah, I mean he's young, right? But if you look at Europe, the leaders are young. It's only like Japan and America. Like our leaders are old, you know. Hmm. Nice wall, thank you. Build the wall. Oh, Biden is building the wall though, right? That's good. Finally, he gets it, I guess. I think Pence had someone lying to him saying he could be POTUS if he betrayed Trump. Either way, he had no courage when it mattered. Hmm. I see. She's hated. Nikki Haley is hated by conservative activist types. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. Um, the thing what I think about American patriots and conservatives is that they're very passionate. Like we over here in Japan, we are passionate too, but man, Americans are so so very very enthusiastic. It's so interesting because in Japan we don't even show our emotions on our face. You know, that's the culture here. We're like all calm and we try to talk it out with people before going to the real conversation or meetings and so on. You know, like we do all the routing. uh, I heard Nikki is only running is for money. Oh no. Yeah, that's the point that Vivek is making though, right? Like I've seen the list that Ramaswamy has written about Nikki Haley, like how she was the ambassador to the UN, and then while she like after she quit, she got all this money with the position that she had, and blah blah blah. Hey Yoko, I just joined. Oh hey, that was 20 minutes ago or so. Sorry, I'm so slow. The economic figures don't tell the whole story. While Americans' salaries are going up, prices are going up much faster, and crime with illegal immigration is a huge issue. Yeah, I totally get that. Yes. So the question that I was asked though is that I mean it's at least you know your salaries are going up, but over here it's not even happening. So that's worse. Is what I was saying, but yeah. So I guess that we are in a similar situation. Oh, I'm talking for like an hour and 22 minutes already. Oh, my husband is yawning from the living room, and I wondered why. And I just look at the time. Anyway, be more open. Mm. Family first is a good culture to have. Yes, I agree. Man, my husband is bored. That's not good. Mm. Your favorite YouTuber commentator? Still and salty cracker. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Collab with Nobita. Yeah, I should. Does anyone speak Mandarin? I wish I did. Man, there's always this desire that I want to learn some like another language, you know? Like I know Japanese and English, but and hopefully it's like, you know, the Chinese language, but I've heard a lot of Cantonese, so I can kind of get a sense, but then it's very difficult. And then, but Mandarin is the way to go, I think. But hmm, it's difficult though. If Nikki Haley was a truly conservative white woman, she would never be promoted. That's true. The color does matter. Yeah. I feel like white people are man, I hope that white people survive, man, as a race. Such a beautiful race, you know? Uh, anyway. I'm just going through your comments. I'm reading, okay? Okay. I should go soon. Bye, Yoko-san. Oh, bye. Remember President Reagan was an actor, so why not Tucker Carlson, right? But actor is an actor, so like when allotted a role, they can play well. Our left extreme there's this extreme leftist party here in Japan called Reiwa, and the is he the leader now, or where does he stand in the party? I don't know, but there's this famous figure of the party, Taro Yamamoto, and he's a former comedian and actor. So when he makes speeches, it's all something that he has remembered, just like lines. So he does a good job, you know. But he's acting like you can see through, just like AOC, like they memorize the lines that their secretaries and so on write. Right? They're so like they've got their brains and they just memorize, and that's what happens. But Tucker Carlson is so true to himself that I don't know. But I just see your point though. Yeah, once you are that person, maybe you can. Yes. What more evidence do you need? You should move to America. You could be successful like me. Oh man. Travis handsome. I love him so much. Yeah, he is. He is a good looking person, man. But it's interesting though because the leftists just look at him as an orange old man, and I feel bad for them because they can't praise what's great that's in front of them. Mm. Anyway, thank you so much for all your comments. I need to go. Like my husband keeps yawning, and it's almost 4 p.m. Uh, I came here late, so how do you think Japan fixed the birth rate problem and just settle back down to population of but they would just be without worry or comfort. We need to, of course, like the fundamental problem is economy, so we have to do that. And then we need to invest in technology where we don't need as many people. And then of course education, but education means I don't think that you need to think something new, that we need to what matters for a country to survive, I believe, is history, you know, teaching the history in the right way. If you do that instantly, they will just wake up. Like it's like red pill, you know, because that's what happened to me. Like I didn't like my country. I was not proud. I rather hated my country. I was ashamed of our culture, you know, like because the West, you know, bullies us sometimes, you know, making fun of our culture and so on. So I was with them, you know, trashing our culture. Um, like lots of like pedal fails, like I don't know the pronunciation, like you know, very childish and so on, and lots of weird like pervy things. And so I was ashamed, before. But once I learned about what my country is actually doing to protect our lives on a daily basis, there are Russian and Chinese aircrafts coming into our airspace, like trying to come into our airspace, and then our self-defense forces are, you know, getting them away, and that's the same for the oceans as well. And then I learned that the World War II, there, like, what why it happened and what our people were doing, and the world that they were living back then. And I learned stuff like that, and then I just instantly after that I was proud to be Japanese. And until then, I didn't want to have children because I hated myself. I hated my root of being Japanese, right? Because that's what brainwashing does to you. So then, of course, if I hate the roots of myself or my country, then I hate myself. And if I hate myself, then I don't want to give birth, right? Like, you don't want to spread what you hate. So that's the mentality that I had. But if you do the vice versa, right? If you teach the history in the right way, like how amazing your people before you were, and how much they contributed to your country and the world, and what kind of amazing works that they have done and so on, and then you'll be proud and you will love yourself. And then if you love yourself, then you want to spread love. And then if you and that naturally, like, you want to feel like having children because you want to carry that on, like, because this is all beautiful. And so that's the sense of the world that I live in now. Like, I want to, like children, like, I used to hate children, but now I'm like, like, I don't know if they are cute or not. Like, I still don't know. Like, I'm not too attached to humans, but at the same time, I'm like, like, I can finally get it, like the beauty of families and so on. Like, now I appreciate my own family, back home, like my parents and so on. And I wish that my grandparents were still around. Like, they are both dead on both ends. And I wish that, like, there were more talks that I could be able to have, if they were alive. Like, there are so many questions that I have, but I can't ask anymore. So that really sucks. Like, I feel deprived, by our education system, because there were lots of love that I could receive, and also, like, I could have given, to praise what they went through and so on, but I can't, and it really sucks. So back to the point, education is very important. Hi, Yoko. Hi. And I have to go. I guess that is an hour and a half, so I have to go. Although I love talking to you guys. Mm. Mm. Cultural destruction is a common propaganda tactic by global markets. Yes, agree. It's they know what to do, like where to attack. So where they're attacking is your strength. So yes. Anyway, thank you so much. I know that it's late over there. Thank you so much, and also thank you so much for those who are tuning in from other parts of the world. It's so cool that we come together. Great times. Anyway, yeah, I talked a lot. Sorry that I couldn't take up all the comments, but I did my best. If you have more questions, I do this weekly. Am I here next week? I think, I'm not sure, but from Ohio. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Yoko, and super sleepy. Thank you. Cute face. Thank you. But Yoko, I'm just happy I caught your stream. Take care. Thank you so much for coming. It's nice to have you. It's only 2 a.m. You're like me. I go to bed like 4 or so, I think. Like, I'm a night owl. I can't fix it. Anyway. Anyway, thank you so much. And all the super chat too. Thank you. Please come back next week. Okay? And follow me on X if you haven't. And also buy my art pieces that are available on Etsy store. Link in the description box below. And yeah. I feel like there were more things to say, but I'll go. Thank you. Your time's on here. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for coming. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.